election cycle to come in person and be able to ask us questions. We'll be going over all the bylaw changes, structure changes, and all the general information regarding ASUC. And so all of the elections council members will be present there, and we'll also hopefully have it streaming in case anybody has some reason that they can't come. And other than that, our filing period begins on March 2nd, and it is a 2-week period that will go till March 13th. And I actually wanted to stress today that because of the bylaw changes, again, there are some differences from this year and the previous years in terms of when things are due. So first of all, the candidate filing form, like before, is due the last day of that filing period, which is March 13th. It's a Friday, 5 p.m. when the lead center closes. And how it's different this year is that this form is actually going to be filled out online on CalLink, so there will be links available on our official website, elections.asuc.org, and so you can access the CalLink there in order to fill out that candidate's filing form. And after you fill it out, it'll give you all the instructions. It'll tell you that you will have to take a printout of the thing that you submitted and then bring it to Lead Center and submit your $5 candidate's fee. And so that's the first step. And if you are running, if a party is actually planning to register and it's a new party, then they'll also have to be registering their party registration form during that filing period as well, and that will also be done through an online CalLink process. And then the third form, which is one that all parties will need, is a party endorsement and filing form if they're planning to run any candidates. And unlike before, this form is actually due during this filing period as well. So it's not due during the candidates meeting on March 17th, but during this filing period. So whoever is a party signatory will also have to fill out that form for their party. It includes the slots where parties can list up to one executive slated person that they want to run, or all the 20 candidates, up to 20 candidates. And this is the one that comes with a $20 fee, so after they fill out that form, they'll print it out and also bring it to the Lead Center along with the $20 party filing fee. And so that's just a major change that we want to emphasize, because if this form isn't filled out and submitted by then whoever is planning to run under that party will have to run as independents, because that party will not be officially filed. So yes. And other than that, after that we have March 17th, which is the official candidates meeting, and this will be a Tuesday. It will be at 7:30 p.m. And this is where all candidates must come. Whoever was the party signatory or party chair that had submitted the party filing form must also come as well. And yeah, it will be a long, informative meeting. And then after that, it will be spring break. Then the week before elections, our team will be having publicity booths, and we'll be passing out voter's guide, encouraging students to run during that time. And then elections week will be the following week. It'll be April 7th to April 9th, which is a Tuesday through Thursday. So if anyone has any questions regarding the process or anything of any of the deadlines, then please feel free to let me know. Also, I have Tina, who is the elections auditor, and Grayson, who is the elections assistant chair, here with me today. We've recently solidified our team, and so there is these two that are here, and also I have a poll coordinator named Chelsea Seckman and a publicity coordinator, Jenny Wong. So if you guys have any ideas regarding either polling suggestions or publicity suggestions, then please let them know as well, or me. And in addition, we also have 8 interns and 3 auditors that are going to be working with Tina. And so I think you guys will be approving of their appointments later today, so they just have some, they can speak with you, and if you guys have any questions, you can feel free to ask them.
Questions for Elections Council, Senator Frankel.
So, yes, for example, last year I was not it was the manual thing that they hand out called?
The voter's guide?
So, for example, last year I was not the voter's guide. How can we expect, how can we hold the people who are in charge of this more accountable to put everyone in it?
Yeah, so basically this year we do, like I mentioned, we do have a publicity coordinator, and she's the one who will actually be in charge of all the collection of the voters guide submissions, and so she's already working on it now. We're starting to build a system where she'll be able to just get all the information in and set up a template of the voters guide, so it won't have to be such a rush process. And we also have help from Joe's team, and so I think it will be a lot smoother. We're going to set firm deadlines this year, so if you don't submit it by the voters guide submission deadline, then you won't be included, and it'll be a really hard deadline this year. Instead of kind of being like flip-floppy and making leeway, we'll just be really firm on deadlines, but we'll send out tons of reminders. We'll make sure that everyone has an opportunity to really know that how important the voters guide is, and that they really have to submit their voter guide submissions.
And then there's also a feature that Conrad put in where they have to send out a draft version of the voter guide, I think like 72 hours before they publish it officially, and then you have like 48 hours to send in any like last minute corrections or like if you're left out or something. Those hours, I'm not sure what they exactly are, but that was put in by the committee.
Cool. So I have two more questions. First, I'll have to, I'll just follow the one that's kind of similar on that. So how are you going to combat the idea that the voter's guide doesn't really help anyone, that doesn't matter? Like, clearly I still got elected. So I just want to know,
I personally think that the voter's guide is really useful. I haven't ever encountered anybody that said that they thought that after they read the voter's guide that they didn't think it was of any use. I think it does include a lot of what candidates want to tell their voters and platforms, so I think it's a really important tool. I do, however, think that we haven't been utilizing it in the right way, in the sense that it hasn't been distributed very thoroughly throughout the student body. So typically we've had it dispersed through dining commons and also the residential halls, but those areas are primarily like freshmen areas where they live, where they interact, and so we really want to try to make it something where we're not just targeting, freshman voters or anything like that. We really want to make sure that it's something that anybody that walks through campus can see and can really join in and can inform themselves about candidates and elections and referendums.
Great. Also, maybe the time that, the time that it's printed, I feel like is maybe later in the process than when everyone else is campaigning, so we could get that out at a sooner date, so that maybe we can give it to political parties and people that are campaigning and passing out their own literature, so they can be passing this out also, so that when they're asking someone to vote for them, they're asking to vote for them because they love your platforms, and they can also compare your platforms to everyone else's platforms. And I know I would have been happy to hand that to people when I talk to them. Second question, comment would be the party signatories. You said that they have to come to this meeting as well.
Yes.
So can you change the party signatory before the time of that meeting?
Well, because the new bylaw says that it's due by the end of filing period, which is March 13th, up until March 13th, you can change it, but once the March 13th date reaches and the filing period ends, then the forms won't be accessible. Like, people can't change whoever the party signatory name is actually filed on the calendar form.
And then can you outline again the process of going in and changing that?
Yes, it's going to be the same as any of the calendar forms that you guys have filled out before. We'll put out the links on the ASUC website and our Facebook page, and if you click through, it's like how once you submit it, you can always resubmit one. So if you want to change the person, you just resubmit the form.
Thank you.
Yes,
Senator Gabrielle.
And as a reminder as well, GCOM did pass in the bylaws that we would be sending a voter guide along with an email to the elections, or an email to all students to the elections website. So that should take care of making sure all students can see the voter guide.
Any questions? Okay, thank you. Next up, we have Chief Communications Officer Joe Wilson.
Okay, hi everyone. I wanted to give a quick quick update on chief officer applications. So far we have 7 people who applied to CFO, 3 for AG, 2 for my position, and 2 for CAO, although also the AG applicants are considered for CAO, so I guess that's 5. I encourage people to apply. I wanted to kind of poll everyone, because committees are not meeting on Monday, is that right? Because of President's Day. That means that I'm not going to be sending out the applications for you to all review until the following week, because you're going to be reviewing them in committee. Would you like me to keep the application open for another week? Or longer? Right now it's closing Friday night at midnight, but we can leave it open longer.
Senator Gordon?
It was my understanding that there's a time deadline by which we need to fill the position.
Right. It just needs to be filled by spring break.
Yes. The nomination has to be made by the last meeting before spring break.
But we can't go any faster anyway because there is no committee meeting Monday, so it won't really make a difference.
I need to extend the deadline for that application, please. And then I also would like to request that everyone send an email or post to your Facebook page, and make some small effort to actually advertise the positions because these are really important. For example, Dennis Chisholm, CFO, is the chief financial officer of a multi-million-dollar nonprofit organization that is the ASUC, and I'm sure we all know many qualified students who would love to put that on their resume and would love to give back to the amazing school that is UC Berkeley. I also want to put it out there that I applied for the CFO position, but that's kind of complicated, so we can talk about that more later. It's also not something that I'm sure about personally, but I just want to put it out there.
Did I see a hand from someone? Oh, wait, is there a second? Are there any objections? The motion to extend the deadline passes by unanimous consent. It will now post the following Friday.
Okay. Awesome.
Did I see a hand from Senator Reed? Did I see a hand from you? Sorry.
Okay. Next thing, outreach. I think there's been a lot of gaps in the cabling schedule. I haven't checked if I know Chloe's following it. Make sure you're all meeting your outreach requirements, doing office hours, cabling. Also, I know a lot of people haven't been posting on their blogs, but definitely try and do that. I know this is spring semester, everyone's kind of getting to that point in the year, and elections are going to come along, and nobody really wants to do outreach then. We're not going to be doing cabling for you all during elections, during part campaigning, just so you know. That's too complicated to handle. I don't want to try and handle that, so during April there won't be any cabling, at least for those 2 weeks. We're starting to prep for Cal Day with student union marketing, making sure we're organizing with them, all their outreach efforts. I'm going to be ordering quarter zips this week. We've decided on the design. We're still kind of working on how to organize the money because we don't have the money to fund it, so everyone's going to have to pitch in $20 or something for their quarter zip. But I will send an email out with more info on that. And then finally, I brought James, who's our web secretary. I know some people said that they haven't met him or want to meet him, so he's going to give a few updates on the web project.
Alright, yeah, hi, I'm James. I'm the web secretary. Keep in mind that some people don't know I exist, so I exist. Basically, if you have any changes you want to the website, any new pages you want to be created, email me. Don't email Joe, he has way too much stuff to do. And so just some updates on the new website. So we met with Front Group Design last Wednesday. That was our first official meeting. We went through some brainstorming. We clarified some of the new features that will be on the website, and we signed the contract and stuff. And so next week we will be meeting again to go through some of the early stages of the project. So yeah, if you have any questions about that, shoot me. Oh, now I guess. Yeah.
What's your email address?
webdevelopment@asuc.org. Yeah. Questions? Sure.
I just wanted to add that we do have like a week by week agenda that you can look at. I know Joe was trying to scan it.
I'm going to scan it and send it out to everyone so you all know the timeline for the project.
Senator Newland.
Hi. Yeah, I know it exists. I'm glad you survived that fatality. My question might be more for Joe. So during elections, do we still have mandatory 6 hours of outreach?
So I'm going to work this out with Chloe, but basically if I choose not to record your hours, then it's not going to go on any record. So, but I think it's a waste of time anyway. Like trying to table during elections would be a nightmare. Having the ASUC table up while there are parties all over Sproul would just be a disaster. So I will work that out with Natalia and Heidi and Chloe as well. So don't even worry about it. I'll figure it out and make sure that you are not recorded for that at all. Yes.
Senator Newland again. Thank you. So with the outreach hours, that includes office hours. So I was going to ask, would that also?
I don't keep office hours. Yeah, just not tabling.
Okay, understood. Got it.
Anyone else? Any other questions for CCO? Thank you. Could we have CFO Lee come up, please?
Hi. I hope you all got my email. That was sent to like 12,000 people. I hope you did. I don't think I have any reports right now. I'm currently looking for interns to help me out with English. So if you all have interns that are interested in about interested in finance, about accounting, about how to use Excel, let me know. And I'll send out a form to you can sign up soon later. And yeah, so let me all know. I don't have much more for this week. I just I understand that like you all have questions about the general finance situation with the ASUC. So you can ask any questions.
Anyone? Going once, going twice. Thank you.
What?
We have
Hi. Please remember to submit your reports. I normally send out reminders, and it should be due by Monday night the latest. And even though there's no school on Monday, I'll still be collecting reports next week. Secondly, I sent out an email about your lobbying requirement. Please be sure to fill out that Google form with your report, and so I know when you did your lobbying. And that's it for me.
questions for Heidi. A reminder that there are no laptops. Senator Kensky.
Hey, so I hate to take extended time to go over something that's in the bylaws, but I was just talking to Caitlin, am I right, about the fact that Caitlin Clancy's trip on the 18th is doesn't formally count as lobbying by the bylaw, but part of the data. Okay. Can you just elaborate on kind of the requirements for a lobbying visit?
The bylaws say that you have to bring a constituent with you. Yeah, the bylaw language says you have to bring someone with you. I said, if you look at bylaw 12.5, it says in 18.2, it says each senator will bring at least one constituent from their community to lobby visit in order to bring a diverse group of students and perspectives to talk to elected officials. And then, yeah, then must give a report. But that's what the bylaw says, so, yeah.
Thank you. My question may also be directed towards the Senate as a whole, but so for what reason would the lobby trip on the 18th not be able to fulfill our requirement?
I'm not too familiar with the lobby trip on the 18th with the EVP, but if you're not bringing a constituent, then it won't adhere to the bylaws.
So if I bring a constituent with me on the 18th, then I've filled the requirement?
Yes. If you bring someone and you fill out your report. Yeah.
Any other questions for Heidi? Okay, so next on the agenda is committee reports. First we have Governance and Internal Affairs Committee Chair, Senator Nguyen.
Hi everyone. So the ASUC Governance and Internal Affairs Committee convened on February 9th at 8:30 p.m. The following nominations were approved with unanimous consent. Shoji Manager as Judicial Counsel Public Defender, Olivia Pismano as Elections Counsel Prosecutor, Grayson Timnick as Assistant Elections Counsel Chair, and Tina as Elections Auditor. We discussed amendments to clauses in the ASUC Constitution regarding Senate absences. We will continue constitutional amendments throughout the semester and propose a drafted referendum. We also are in the process of proposing interview questions for the interviews for Chief Legal Officer, also known as the Attorney General, and the Chief Accountability Officer. I motion for GCOM not to be next week, which was approved with unanimous consent. GCOM will review applications for CLO and CAO over the weekend and select some to interview. Thank you.
Questions for Senator
So I know that if you're still discussing things about absences, do you know what the current policy is right now? Can you give us like a brief update on like how we handle those? Like how Senate has been handling those currently, like what the problems are that you're trying to fix?
Yes. So currently there is some rules regarding absences within the bylaws, which we submitted a bill in December, which passed, which resolves some of the issues that came up with absences. However, there are certain rules of absences, specifically to do with the interpretation of when you get an absence that are in the Constitution. And these can only be amended through a referendum, which is why we're currently doing a referendum right now. Moreover, the bylaws that we passed regarding absences in December are not retroactive, so any of the pending situations and cases before that were not affected by it.
And just to clarify, so there was a bill passed, it was part of the Government Documents Modernization Act, that provided new definitions for excused absences. The Judicial Council ruled that those would only apply to committees. It wouldn't apply to Senate proper, because Senate proper is currently under the Constitution. GovCon did discuss though, like changing the Constitution to kind of adapt it to that situation. So for Senate proper right now, it's still only 48 hours in advance, doctor's note, or note from a religious leader, no other excuses, and nothing after those 48 hours before the meeting. For
Senate committees, I really urge you to look at the bylaw called Senate Attendance. It's under Senate. It provides 6 cases where you can get excused for. 3 of them you can request an excuse 48 hours before. 3 of them you can request excuses 48 hours afterwards. But just mind you that even though the bylaw says it applies to all absences, the Judicial Council ruled that it doesn't. So right now, it only applies to its committee until we change the Constitution, which we're working on. Senator Frankel? Anyone else? If there's no one else, could we hear from University and External Affairs, please?
Hi everyone. This week in External, we passed SB 53, a resolution in support of Berkeley unanimously. And as a committee, we also discussed the possibility of bringing in different members and groups of the university and community to work on issues that affect students. If anyone has ideas that you would like External to work on, feel free to message me or any of the committee members so that we can incorporate that into our agenda. Thank you.
Questions for External? Cool, thank you. Moving on, Finance Committee Chair Senator Lee.
Hello everyone. FB 3 passed amendments. We talked about finance policy working group. That was a good conversation. And just in terms of numbers, to update you on what we have in our accounts, Senate contingency has 21,365. Space reservation has 902. Great opportunity has 7,941. So people should be applying for that. Co-op 14,000. So people should be applying for that. In terms of space reservation, so since we're running out of that, so tell people to apply. Okay, use our yes, that's it.
I mean, this is probably going to be when the time comes, but let's say space reservation is already out, and the group needs money for space reservation. Will that just be dipping into contingency, or what other contingencies?
Yeah, so what we have been doing in FICOM is trying to use Senate contingency to pay for
we can use Senate contingency as backup for space reservation. The only reason we want to have some money in space reservation is because it has fewer restrictions for first, second, and third year groups. Anything fourth year or above has the same, guidelines for Senate contingency. And I mentioned this last week, we're not meeting this coming week, so I didn't put the bill forward, but hopefully there'll be a bill that FICOM people work on to take money from carry forward our $700,000 and put it into space reservation and Senate contingency just so that throughout the rest of the year we're not short for student groups.
Any other questions for FICOM? Cool, thank you everyone. Moving on to the consent calendar and immediate consideration. Is Shaji Energy here? It's here. I will give this number Okay, so I want to give a chance for the Senate to ask strategy questions before we actually want to approve in the consent calendar, because I know that was a concern last week. That's fine. That's also so if you want to introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, sure. Hi everyone. I'm Shojit. I'm a second-year student. So I've been nominated and appointed for ASUC Judicial Council Public Defender, and this is my second year in the ASUC, so I have 2 years of experience working in different offices. So I'm open to all questions.
Questions for strategy?
What office were you were involved in that?
So I worked in a Senate office during my first year, and then recently I worked in the Office of the Attorney General as a Director and Chief of Staff.
Other questions? Thank you, Shoji.
All right, thank you.
I believe Olivia is sick, so moving on to Grace and Jimmy.
Grayson had a lead. The election. Grayson had a lead.
Did GovCom get a chance to talk to them? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have concerns. Does anything need to be pulled from the consent calendar for media considerations? Anybody?
Like to pull SB 53.
SB 53 has been pulled for immediate consideration. Does anything else need to be pulled? Okay, cool. I would like to entertain a motion to pass the consent calendar.
So moved.
Any objections? Motion passes by unanimous consent. Consent calendar is approved. Moving to immediate consideration, we have SB 53, a resolution in support of Earth Week. On the screen, so I'm going to let the original author, Senator Broder, speak on the bill.
So I just want to add a whereas clause before the very last one. But basically this bill is in support of Earth Week and the Telegraph Green Businesses Association. So I'd like to make a motion to right after the last one, I think. Yeah. It would be whereas the green certification for the Telegraph business
So the amendment is on the screen. It's the last whereas clause. Could I get a second to the motion?
Second.
Are there any objections? Okay, cool. Motion passed by unanimous consent. I'd like to entertain a motion to pass SB 53 as amended.
So moved. Second.
Any objections? Okay, SB 53 passes by unanimous consent. Moving on to new business, unless any of you want to add a bill to new business.
I motion to add it. What is it called again? I don't know the number.
It's SB 54.
Okay, I motion to add SB 54 to new business. A bill in support of divestment from the Republic of Turkey.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Any objections? Okay, SB 54 has been added to new business. I would like to send SB 54 to XCOM.
So moved.
That was not the motion. So I will move to send SB
Seconded.
Any objections? Okay. Motion passes by unanimous consent. Cool. Thank you for a productive meeting, everyone. It's only 9:30. But I know that we wanted to have some space to continue the conversation from earlier. Yeah, I'm going to look for again to have a conversation. Senator Wizzy or Senator wants to review what was said, remind people what was said. I don't know. But this is based on the motion.
Yes, I think if people really have questions or comments for the testimony or kind of a report on the series of events that I shared with you all, I'd love to answer those questions now. Again, I repeat, I don't know who did this, but I do think it's something that we should think is important, that there's a pattern of a certain number being tied to all the accounts. Now, whether the owner of that number did it or not, I can't say definitively, but I do think that's something we should talk about. And so I kind of want to hear from other people. Senator Lucy and I have already spoken quite a bit, so we can elaborate if there's confusion, but I really want to hear comments and questions from the rest of our senators.
Sorry to keep over talking. I also keep hearing murmurings of this, someone traced the IP address of the ASUC faithful email. Okay, that's one of the emails. 5 of them were linked to this same number since September. I just find it highly unlikely. I'm not saying it's not likely, because I might be completely wrong, I might be eating my words. I don't think it's plausible that some one person is out to get one individual that they phrasing with their number. Additionally, there was an email that started with a certain letter and ended with another number that also has to do with that person's email address. So we can talk about that. If other, other emails keep getting forwarded to me about, Jeffrey Wygan, the alleged harassing other members, file your own complaint. We have evidence for that email address that the phone number is someone, so maybe that was him. I don't know. I'm not accusing any senators directly. It's just it's suspicious to me that this is someone's phone number. That's really, I'm just looking at the cold hard facts. I'm not trying to get someone in trouble, who doesn't deserve it. But this, unfortunately, these are the facts. And student conduct can look at the IP addresses. But yeah, that's all I have to say about this.
Any other comments? Further discussion?
Just lastly, I just like to ask if you all feel like you have evidence that is compelling or somehow helps us find this out. If any one of these incidents is egregious, then there's obviously some sort of plan, right, behind all of it. Whether it's to frame someone or there's kind of a lot of people's names being used throughout. So I'm of the belief investigations are great. Let's bring everything out into the light. Let's stand in the sun together, show everything, and if people didn't do anything and there's no wrongdoing, then fantastic. And let's just figure it out together. And investigations are how legislative bodies and how a bunch of other types of decisions get adjudicated. So let's embrace this and figure it out together.
To give the senators, I want to read the email. So I'm sorry for the language as well. I'm going to read the email. And since I submitted SP11, I've gotten a plethora of very friendly emails at me. This one came about a week ago after if you all saw on Facebook, I took a picture of Auschwitz and it was shared through different medias. And I want to share some of the emails I've gotten from Jeffrey Wigan at gmail.com if someone wants to go ahead and find my number. If they know how to, that'll be cool as well. They always start, usually they start with hello Zionist. That's what it's been this semester. I wanted to shoot you an email and touch upon. Is everyone here? Okay.
we just removed the light. What are these?
If we could bring it back.
Calm down. Can you turn this off? It's just they're plugged.
Let's bring it back, y'all. This is not recess. Senator Richmond, please continue.
So, for those items, I just wanted to show you an email and touch upon your wretched history of Auschwitz. I wanted to say that, unlike the millions that died in Auschwitz, you were lucky to go out, and you're not lucky. You are the reason why so many students in the UC system hate Israel. You are a disgusting Zionist, and if I ever see you on campus with your big Star of David necklace, I will approach you. Jeffrey Whitmer. And that's what I get once or twice every week. And I saw what was written in Senator Cabusi and Senator Prince's screenshot. And I'm not saying they are connected incidents. I'm not saying they may be different. But I'm saying I have been receiving these emails all year. And I look past it because I feel like if I get these emails, I may be doing the work that I've set out to do, which is represent the Pro-Israel community. And that is a threat. That is a hurtful threat, saying, especially in today's time, everything that's gone on with the anti-Semitism. I feel threatened as well. I feel threatened. I don't want to start David necklace outside anymore because I get these once or twice every week. That's all.
Senator Cabusi.
I think you should add that along with our file. That's harassment. That's a threat. I'm not saying you're immune to this either. Right? I'm really sorry. That burns my ears and hurts my heart to hear. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying we all, Austin said, if you have harassment emails, we have a case file. We can all have these emails. They're investigating it for us. No one should have to read that. That's awful. It's like Madison said, opening your emails, seeing stuff like that. Or that's awful. I'm so sorry. But yeah, send that student conduct. They said, encourage everyone who's getting stuff to send it to us. Because if it is a setup on that one individual, or if it is that individual, this is weird. Or it's preventing us from doing our jobs. It's affecting our mental health. It's affecting us as students. It's messed up. We should be able to do something about it.
Senator
Yes, everything you're saying, awesome. I think I don't remember let's move on, Elmo. We're strong people. This sucks. I'm glad that we're talking about it. It's important that we talk about it so that we make sure this doesn't happen again. Right now, I don't know what else we can do in this space, and I think that we can do final announcements.
Okay. Nobody else has anything else to say for that. So maybe that's the announcements. This way, and that way. Let's see.
No new announcements. If anything comes up, I'll email you.
No new announcements.
Okay, so two things. One, I'm just going to test again that the video that we saw today from the fire department meeting was phenomenal, and I'm going to try and work to get that video, and then I'll send it to all of you, and I hope you send it out to because it really was ground shattering. Second, teach about the highest GPA of the semester. Also, your system has on average higher GPA in school, so go speak. And go Bears.
I don't want it to be like part of the job that we all receive these emails. I receive 3 threads through my email every week, and I don't want to get those anymore just as much as all of you don't want to get the emails that you're getting. So we should be working together to figure out what's going on, and like this shouldn't just be a byproduct of the job as it's often seen as. But on that note, go to the giant monologues this weekend. So I finally had that meeting with the Vice Chancellor of Real Estate and Capital Projects to talk about on-campus gardens. Brief highlights. They think we should start gardening people's parks immediately. Take the food away from the homeless people. Also, they're really excited that SOCA that has a fence around it. They really like the fence. They emphasize that 3 times how nice of a gate it has. They think that our university is proper the way it is, and historic landscape and urban agriculture has no place on this campus. They also think that rational projects make sense for campus cannot include food to grow for students because students aren't hungry, basically. So we discussed how that is not the case, and they said that while we're passionate, we should basically take any student who feels unsafe on this campus on a tour with the landscape architect who has the historic landscape of Berkeley in her hand and designed it with them, and has been working on this campus to keep lawns on it basically for the last 20 years. We should go on a tour with her so she can show us what it is and why it exists, and then we'll feel safe, basically. So that went well, obviously. If you want to talk more about that meeting, please let me know. The climate symposium is unfolding. We met with the area this week. We now have full UCOP support on it, which is a blessing and a curse. But we're figuring it out. Also, for the lobby requirement, I really encourage you all to get it done in cool, different ways and think about what your community needs and go out there and do it. There's so many different people you can talk to. Come talk to me if you want ideas. Okay, Caitlin, I have lobby a crap load. I can help you with that if you like or whatever. Basically, we need gardens and we need food, and it's really been a big struggle to get that to happen. So that's something I'm really working on right now.
I have my meeting with Office of the Registrar tomorrow, so I'll update you on that. I'll and Justin are both chiming. You're on the meeting with me. I just wanted to talk about what Pavan had said about the kind of 2 events about the undergrad initiative, because I can't make the, I forget what it's called. It's called the charrette. I can make the charrette, but I'm considering sending someone to my office, because that's super important, and I know that we're disappointed about our representation on it, but we should send 10 people, and it's kind of sad to have shined up, and I'm a senior, and I would go on record saying that the most important part of me being at Cal wasn't my academic experience, but I still will send someone from my office to this thing because it's so important that we have full representation there. It's a big thing that they're doing. And I have people that I want to send, but I'd much rather have the senators who have worked their butts off for these seats go than someone from my staff, personally. On not Senate business, I'm going to be opening for Drake Bell for the Drake and Josh show in March. I'm going to be performing a number of covers as well as an original song. So, you should all come out. It's March 6th. Come hear me sing.
Thank you to FICOM for funding the Divinity Student Association's Culture Show. I will be selling tickets soon. Y'all hit me up if you want some.
I'll just email you all there.
Hi friends, Party Safe at Cal is having a alcohol forum February 17th at 7 p.m. I think it's going to sign alcohol. I'm a little check on that. Melissa's having a UCPD meeting with regard to like an unofficial contract between fraternities, sororities, and UCPD in terms of like what is legal and what they will do at parties. And I am attending, and it's for on Friday. Any great senators who would like to come, please reach out to Melissa who's organizing the meeting. The Pre-Med Forum, thank you senators who have sent people my way. Please continue to do so. I still have spots. It's going to be February 26th at 6 p.m. Free pizza, second floor of the Career Center. Yeah, it would be awesome if people could. No announcements.
Hi, everyone. Few announcements. Bollywood Berkeley is this Saturday. I know you all know what Bollywood Berkeley is. So Hindi film and dance is huge all around the United States, and some of the best teams come to Berkeley. We compete. We have one of the best teams in the nation. We won Bollywood America a few years ago. We won Bollywood America. We got second place Bollywood America last year. Let's hope we win this year as well. I love it. One more announcement, so on that same night, ISA, PSA, Pakistan Students Association, Indian Students Association, and my office will be screening the India-Pakistan cricket match here in Nighthead. I think it's going to be fantastic because like Pakistan and India have this like friendly rivalry, which I've like witnessed ever since I was in India. It's really cool. PSA and ISA will be here. I'm giving free pizza. Like I think it's going to be like a fantastic situation. I'm biased, but go India. But I think it'll be a great game. That's all the announcements I have. Thank you very much. Go Bears.
I have 3 announcements. One is about funding for all y'all's projects. The Student Technology Fee Committee is having their fund applications technically due this Friday. If you do need more time, what I'd highly recommend that you do is submit an application and send me a personal email afterwards to my ASUC account, and I can work with you on whatever you need so I can make it a little bit better. They're hoping to change it from this Friday, so likely the deadline will be pushed back. Like similar sort of situation with our like chief appointed officers kind of deal. But if you do have an idea, I'd highly recommend you submit something to the form, just something. Second thing is, I had a meeting with the RSF director this past week, and a company that's looking to do crowd sensing for the RSF. And I don't really like that company, not really based out of students, don't seem like that great technology. There is another technology that came out of Free Ventures, which is an on-campus student-led incubator for technology companies that has been working tirelessly. They already had, I think, a system set up at the Memorial Stadium gym, but they had to take it down after a couple of months. I have no idea why. Email them tonight. Hopefully they'll get back to me on that. Lastly, jobs for y'all. One of my friends was looking into getting interns for his startup in San Francisco. So if you're interested in a company that will make it easier for individuals or small businesses to write their own legally binding contracts, please let me know. It's a product management position that will pay $550 a week with free meals provided. So pretty sweet deal if you ask me. Just letting you know, I'm watching out for y'all. I just got rejected for 3 internships today, so I know what to say. So that's all the time.
Hello, I have a couple of announcements. The Korean American Student Association is having their culture show on March 18th at Julie Morgan Theater. Come out and check it out. A lot of dance groups, culture groups do come out and perform there. And a staffer of mine that works at Police found out that a lot of dancers, the dance community will have insurance and waivers provided to them in the case of any sort of injury. So I think that's a really great opportunity for my community to just be protected because a lot of the times we practice outdoors, late at night, and I think it's a great step for our communities. And lastly, y'all have any opportunities to, I know a lot of us have our Senate funds, and I still have a lot of my Senate funds as well, so if anybody's interested in collaborative projects, and we can talk offline about that, I'm all for it, and I just want to reach out to any of y'all for that. So any, and with that, go Bears.
So over the weekend there was a UCSA vote, and I've been told by several members of the board that they received also a very hateful email and death threats as well. And I want to say that whether you support or you're against BDS, what's going on right now is it's not okay. Nobody deserves to be on that
nobody deserves to be fearful of their life over the way they vote in meetings. You know, it's really important to take it back and realize the amount of power we have in this space and other spaces, and that, you know, when we choose to divest or we choose to do something else, a lot of times it doesn't mean the regents are going to do anything we say. It doesn't mean the administration is going to do anything we say. So, I want to reaffirm what the UCC board that although, you know, I was not in favor of the way they voted, what's going on is not okay. And nobody deserves to feel threatened, nobody deserves to be fearful of leaving their place. And, this goes for all walks. In everything you do. You should be afraid to speak your opinion. We were elected to speak our opinion. That's why 20 of us are here. Just today, there were 3 Muslims that were killed. And the hate is so real out there. It's incredible. So, I don't know what to say, but just hearing that other people are getting emails, hearing that Senator Burr is getting emails, reading more emails, talking to Kevin Sabo and hearing about the emails he got over the weekend when he didn't even have a vote in that board is just, it's shocking to me. So, that's all I can say.
Hello everyone. Thank you also to Jury for filing that case. Obviously, I did send emails as well. I just want to echo Ori's words. Thank you, Ori, and I completely agree with you. I just wanted to take some time out to talk about what happened today, or last night. As Ori said, there were 3 Muslims killed in a hate crime in North Carolina. I actually knew them personally. They were family friends of ours. It's just really hard to see that that this type of hate actually exists. It really affirms that Islamophobia and just this much hate is real. And I'm exhausted. I am mentally exhausted listening to this. When I speak out against all the bigotry that I hear, it is because of this, because all of the microaggressions turn into this. And once people are dying, I don't know where else to come from there. Actually, in fact, the family of those individuals that were killed were Berkeley alumni. One of my really good friends, Inez Gentili, graduated from here. Her brother graduated from here. They contributed to their communities, and to see that their family being killed in a hate crime. When they were on this campus, they were here during divestment, and they always tried to make sure there were no hate crimes on campus. And their mother, Amina Jandali, is one of the most active Muslims in the Bay Area. She founded an organization to bridge communities to make sure that this type of stuff didn't happen. And the irony, to see that this woman who dedicated her whole life to fighting discrimination and Islamophobia, and see that her own children are killed. Just the irony of it just shakes my soul, and I have constantly just reading her post saying that today my daughter-in-law's brother was killed. Today my daughter-in-law's brother was killed because he was Muslim, and his wife, his newlywed wife and their sister, who they both wore hijab, were also killed. So this really hits home, and I apologize for not being present in the meeting as well, because I don't want to be here right now, but I also have an obligation to make sure that everybody knows what's happening. Even worse is the fact that it took CNN 10 hours to report on this. 10 hours. When it takes them 2 minutes to create any type of story saying that there's a Muslim terrorist out there and have Fox News say things like all Muslims should be killed. I am completely disappointed in the journalism in this country. I am so disappointed by just the amount of hate and this country. Like, I have friends whose mothers are texting them right now, who wear hijab, saying that, like, be careful when you go out there. We have, through our Muslim Student Association, we're trying to figure out rides to make sure that if people don't feel safe, they have rides when they're walking home. It's come to this point and it's disgusting, and I'm sick and tired of it. So I just wanted to say that this was a hate crime, and it's just another example of all the microaggressions that have been happening with all of the bigotry and Islamophobia that exists in the world today. So I have a few Islamophobia workshops that I put together. If you have any spaces that you would be willing to allow me to come into, I'd love to give those workshops. I know, Dree, you were asking for people to give workshops on things, so I'm down to come. There's going to be a visual tomorrow at 5:30 on Spell. And lastly, I have written a letter to the larger Berkeley community. I'm hoping it can be published in the op-ed. I just feel like it's very important that we highlight that this type of stuff is happening, because considering the fact that when we try to bring up the fact that hate speech exists, the administration doesn't take it seriously. And so I want to use this as an opportunity to show them that what we've been saying isn't BS. This is what actually happens. So I've written this letter, and I was going to email it to you, so I'll just email it to everybody. If you want to co-sign it, go for it. All I'm asking is just please spread the word, spread the word, because the media is not painting this as a hate crime. It's just sad. I just don't have any more words for this, but just share it on your own social media sites. I was on Sprout today just asking people, if the media is not going to cover it, give them the decency for us to empathize with them, then I'm depending on the average student to do it right now. I'm asking you, use the hashtag R3Winners, it's the hashtag the family wanted, hashtag Islamophobia, hashtag Chapel Hill shooting, those are the hashtags we've been using. Just share the articles, read them, educate yourselves, just please, as senators on this campus, I'm just asking you to, use your, I know all of you have amazing, access to people, so use that access to just spread the word, because the media is not going to do it, and this family deserves that, so thank you very much. And can I ask for a moment of silence, after, for a minute? Okay, yeah, a moment of silence. Thank you so much. And just to end, I just want to say that regardless of all of these things happening, I will keep my hijab on, and I refuse to take it off, because this is who I am, and I'm not going to let any type of hate out there stop me from being true to who I am and what I believe in. And a lot of the women in our community feel the same way. And it's, for us, it's going to be a very hard time. I know a lot of girls have been talking about it, and just wanted to end with that. No need announcements.
Thank you, everyone.
Present.
Wait, you skipped it.
Sorry, Senator Carusi.
Present.
Present.